Your past is a story that you can't rewrite, but you can take control of how it shapes your future. It's easy to play the blame game, blame your parents, your circumstances, your boss, your ex, even the system. But here's the truth. Pointing fingers never moves you forward. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration and stagnation. The first step to becoming unrecognizable is owning your past. Every part of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You've got to stop running from it and start learning from it. When you look at your past, don't just focus on the pain or the mistakes. Break it down. What decisions got you to where you are right now? What habits, mindsets, or fears held you back? This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about getting real with yourself. When you face your past with honesty, it stops holding power over you. The truth is, the parts of your past you're most ashamed of might hold the biggest lessons for your transformation. Too many people carry their past around like a weight, dragging into every new opportunity, every new relationship, every new day. They say things like, I've always been like this, or this is just who I am. But that's a lie you're telling yourself to avoid change. You are not your past. You are the choices you make moving forward. You've got to stop using your past as an excuse for why you can't grow and start using it as a reason why you must. Owning your past also means forgiving yourself. Yeah, you messed up. You made bad choices. You hurt people. Maybe you even hurt yourself. But holding on to guilt or regret doesn't fix anything. Forgiveness isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about giving yourself permission to move forward. You can't rebuild your life while you're still punishing yourself for mistakes you can't undo. Look at the people in your life who've hurt you. Maybe it was a parent who wasn't there, a friend who betrayed you, or someone who doubted you when you needed their support. Holding on to that bitterness only chains you to their actions. It gives them control over your story. When you take ownership of your past, you stop waiting for an apology or validation. You take back your power by saying, I'm not defined by what happened to me, I'm defined by what I do next. Your past is a teacher, not a sentence. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure, it all happened for a reason. But it's only valuable if you take the lessons with you. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, your resilience? People who transform their lives don't forget their past, they master it. They learn how to use it as the foundation for their growth instead of the ceiling holding them back. When you own your past, you stop hiding from it. You stop pretending everything was fine or downplaying what you went through. You face it head on, and in doing so, you reclaim the narrative. Nobody can hold it against you because you've already made peace with it. When people see you thriving, they might bring up the old you. Let them smile because you've outgrown the version of yourself they're stuck remembering. This process isn't easy, it's uncomfortable. But every ounce of discomfort is worth it. Taking ownership of your past gives you clarity. It shows you where you went wrong, where you can improve, and where your power truly lies. It's the first step in becoming someone nobody recognizes because it frees you to build a future that has no limits. Each morning, the alarm clock doesn't just signal the start of another day, it's a reminder of the opportunity you've been given. But too many people wake up without direction, just going through the motions. They roll out of bed, drag themselves into their routines, and let the day control them instead of the other way around. If that's you, it's time to shift your mindset. Waking up with purpose is about starting each day with a clear intention, knowing exactly what you're working toward and why it matters. Purpose isn't something that just magically appears as something you create. It starts with knowing what you want out of life, out of your work, out of your relationships. Too many people wake up and the first thought is about their to-do list or their problem. But when you wake up with purpose, your first thought is about your mission. What are you building? Who are you becoming? What impact do you want to make today? That clarity of vision has to guide every decision you make. When you don't have purpose, distractions run your day. Social media, emails, random tasks, they pull you in every direction, leaving you exhausted but unaccomplished. Purpose acts like a filter. It helps you focus on what really matters and tune out the noise. It gives you the strength to say no to what doesn't align with your goals, even when it's tempting. Purpose turns your mornings from chaotic to intentional because you're no longer reacting, you're creating. Waking up with purpose also requires discipline. It's not just about feeling motivated or inspired, it's about building habits that reinforce your commitment. Purposeful mornings don't start with scrolling on your phone or hitting snooze 5 times. They start with routines that set the tone for the day, whether it's journaling, exercising, meditating, or planning your priorities. These small, consistent actions anchor you in your purpose and prepare you to face whatever challenges come your way. Purpose isn't just about the big picture, it's about the small, everyday choices that align with your goals. Every decision, from what you eat for breakfast to how you spend your free time, either moves you closer to your purpose or pulls you further away. When you wake up with purpose, you start seeing your day as a series of opportunities to live in alignment with the person you want to become. It's about being intentional with your energy, your time, and your focus. Living with purpose also means being proactive, not passive. Too many people wake up and wait for something to happen, a sign, a spark, a moment of luck. But purpose-driven individuals know that waiting gets you nowhere. They don't wait for the perfect conditions, they create them. They wake up and take control of their day, understanding that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture of their success. When you wake up with purpose, you approach challenges differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as setbacks, you see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, to prove to yourself that you're capable of more. Purpose gives you the resilience to keep going, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It's what separates people who drift aimlessly from those who make an impact. Purpose transforms mornings into momentum. Each day becomes a step towards something meaningful, something greater than yourself. When you wake up with purpose, you're not just living for the weekend or waiting for a break. You're building a life that excites you every single day. Purpose gives you a reason to get out of bed, RG, with focus and with the drive that doesn't quit. When you wake up in the morning and head out into the world, your work isn't just about getting by or meeting deadlines. It's about creating something that lasts. A legacy isn't built overnight, and it's not built on half-hearted effort. It's the result of consistent, intentional, and relentless work over time. Every action you take, every choice you make, and every ounce of effort you give contributes to that legacy. The question is, what kind of legacy are you building? Too often, people work only for the paycheck, the recognition, or the short-term wins. But building a legacy is about thinking bigger. It's about creating something so impactful that it outlives you. Your legacy isn't about what you achieve for yourself, it's about what you leave behind for others. It's the ripple effect of your work, the influence you have, and the example you set. When you work with the mindset of building a legacy, every task becomes significant because it's part of a larger picture. Legacy builders don't cut corners. They don't look shortcuts or the easiest path to success. They understand that greatness requires effort, and effort takes time, whether you're working on a business, a project, or your own personal growth. You have to approach it with the mindset that every detail matters. If it has your name on it, it has to reflect your values, your standards, and your vision. You're not just working to check off a box, you're working to create something that people will remember. When you're building a legacy, there's no such thing as good enough. Legacy work demands excellence, even when no one's watching. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, not because someone else expects it, but because you expect it. It's about pushing past mediocrity, even when it's tempting to settle. The truth is, your legacy won't be built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet hours, the late nights, and the moments when it would be easier to quit, but you choose to keep going. Working like you're building a legacy also means thinking beyond yourself. It's about asking, how is my work impacting others? What kind of example am I setting for my family, my team, or the next generation? Legacy isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about what you inspire in others. Are you leaving a trail of excellence that others can follow? Are you lifting others up as you climb? These are the questions that guide legacy-driven work. A legacy isn't built on luck or talent alone. It's built on discipline, consistency, and perseverance. Talent might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. Consistency is what separates people who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. Perseverance is what carries you through the failures, setbacks, and challenges that inevitably come your way. Legacy builders don't stop when it gets hard. They lean in and keep grinding because they know the end result is worth it. When you're working like you're building a legacy, you're not just thinking about what you want today, you're thinking about what you want your life to represent. Every decision becomes intentional. Every effort becomes meaningful. You stop working for applause or validation because you understand that a true legacy isn't about what people say in the moment. It's about what they remember long after you're gone. Your work becomes a reflection of who you are and what you stand for. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Legacy builders aren't afraid to fail because they know that failure is part of the process. They know that every setback is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. Working like you're building a legacy means showing up every single day with the mindset that what you're doing matters, because it does. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. It's cozy, it's predictable, and it feels safe, but it's also a trap. Staying in your comfort zone keeps you from growing, from evolving, and from becoming the person you're meant to be. Growth doesn't happen where it's easy. It happens where it's challenging, where it's uncomfortable, and where you're forced to confront your fears and limitations. If you want to achieve something you've never done before, you have to be willing to step into the unknown and stay there until it becomes familiar. Your comfort zone lies to you. It whispers that you're okay where you are, that there's no need to push yourself, and that stepping out will only bring pain or failure. But here's the truth: the longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave. It's like a muscle that weakens over time. Every time you avoid a challenge or turn away from an opportunity because it's uncomfortable, you reinforce the walls of that zone. And those walls, they're not protecting you, they're imprisoning you. Think about the moments in your life when you experienced real growth. Were they comfortable? Probably not. Growth comes from putting yourself in situations that stretch you. It's the job you're not quite ready for but take anyway. It's the difficult conversation you've been avoiding but finally have. It's saying yes to opportunities that scare you because they force you to rise to the occasion. Killing the comfort zone isn't about recklessness, it's about calculated risks that push you toward your potential. Fear is the gatekeeper of the comfort zone. It shows up as doubt, hesitation, and excuses. It tells you you're not ready or what if you fail, but fear is also a compass that points directly to where you need to go. The things you're most afraid of often hold the greatest potential for growth. When you learn to face fear instead of running from it, you take back your power. Killing the comfort zone means acknowledging your fear and stepping forward anyway, knowing that fear is temporary but regret lasts forever. Comfort zones aren't just about avoiding big challenges, they're built on the little decisions you make every day. It's skipping the workout because it's easier to stay in bed. It's avoiding the project because you're scared of making a mistake. It's sticking with routines that feel safe but keep you stagnant. Breaking out of your comfort zone starts with small, consistent choices to do the hard thing, the scary thing, the thing that makes your palms sweat and your heart race. The comfort zone tricks you into thinking that staying the same is safer than growing, but the opposite is true. Stagnation is the real danger. The world doesn't stop moving just because you do. Every day you stay in your comfort zone, you fall further behind, not just in opportunities, but in personal development. Killing the comfort zone is about recognizing that discomfort isn't a threat, it's an opportunity. It's the price you pay for growth, and it's worth every penny. The people who achieve greatness are the ones who embrace discomfort. They understand that failure is part of the process, not the end of it. They don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. They create them by stepping out of what's familiar. Killing the comfort zone means rejecting the lie that you have to feel ready before you take action. Action creates readiness. Action builds confidence. Action is what turns fear into strength. When you kill the comfort zone, you give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to become the person you were meant to be. It's not about eliminating fear or doubt, it's about refusing to let them dictate your life. Every time you push past your comfort zone, you expand it. What once seemed impossible becomes your new normal. And with every step, you move closer to your potential, to your self-proving self, and the world that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought. Your environment is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life, and too often people underestimate its influence. Look around you, your surroundings, the people you interact with, the habits you built into your routine. Are these things pushing you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? The truth is, you can't transform yourself while staying in the same environment that's comfortable with the old you. Growth requires change, and that change often starts with your surroundings. An environment isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. It's the conversations you have, the energy you absorb, and the attitudes you encounter every day. If your environment is filled with negativity, doubt, and mediocrity, it's nearly impossible to rise above it. Why? Because the environment sets the standard. If everyone around you is content with being average, it's easy to settle into that same mindset. You've got to surround yourself with people and places that challenge you to be better, to think bigger, and to dream beyond what you currently see. Sometimes the hardest part of changing your environment is leaving people behind. This doesn't mean you stop loving them or caring about them. It means recognizing that not everyone is meant to come with you on your journey. If someone isn't adding value to your life or encouraging your growth, their presence can become a weight dragging you down. It's not about blaming them, it's about understanding that your path is yours to walk. You have to be intentional about the relationship you nurture and the energy you allow into your life. Changing your environment might also mean stepping into spaces where you feel out of place at first. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones, and neither does success. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Put yourself in environments where people are ahead of you, where their accomplishments inspire you rather than intimidate you. These are the spaces where you'll be challenged, where you'll learn, and where you'll grow into the person you want to become. The environment isn't just about people, it's also about habits and routines. What are you exposing to every day? Are you waking up to chaos and distractions, or are you setting up a space that supports your focus and productivity? Your physical environment matters too. A cluttered, disorganized space creates a cluttered, disorganized mind. Create an environment that reflects the discipline and mindset you're working toward. Make it easier for yourself to stay consistent and motivated. Changing your environment doesn't always require drastic moves. Sometimes it's about making small but intentional adjustments. Maybe it's spending less time with people who drain your energy and more time with those who uplift you. Maybe it's changing your commute to listen to podcasts instead of zoning out to music. Maybe it's cutting out the hours you spend on social media and replacing them with time spent learning or building something meaningful. These small changes can create a ripple effect, transforming not just your environment, but also your mindset. Your environment is either feeding your growth or feeding your excuses. If you stay in an environment that supports procrastinativity or complacency, it's no surprise when those habits show up in your life. On the other hand, when you put yourself in an environment that encourages discipline, positivity, and ambition, you'll find yourself rising to that standard. The environment sets the tone, but you get to decide what tone you want for your life. When you change your environment, you give yourself permission to evolve. You stop waiting for circumstances to change and start creating the conditions that allow you to thrive. It's not always easy. It might mean making tough decisions or stepping into the unfamiliar. But the moment you start surrounding yourself with people, places, and routines that align with your goals, you'll find that growth isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The world doesn't care about what you say you're going to do. It's your actions that define you. Too many people talk about their dreams, their goals, and their plans, but when it comes to doing the work, they fall short. Words are easy, they cost nothing, carry no weight. But actions show the truth about who you are, what you value, and how serious you are about changing your life. If you want to be unrecognizable, it's not your promises or declarations that will get you there. It's the consistent actions you take every single day. Transformation isn't something you announce, it's something you prove. Stop telling people how hard you're working, how much you're grinding, or what you're about to achieve. Show them through your results. Let your actions speak so loudly that they don't even hear your words. People should be able to see the difference in you, not because you told them, but because your work ethic, discipline, and results make it undeniable. When your actions align with your vision, there's no need to explain yourself. Actions don't just build trust with others, they build trust with yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you're capable of achieving your goals. But when you talk about what you're going to do and then fail to deliver, you chip away at your confidence. Over time, this creates a cycle of inaction and self-doubt. To break it, stop over-promising and start over-delivering. Make a habit of letting your actions validate your intentions. The path to being unrecognizable is paved with consistency. It's not about one big gesture or a single accomplishment. It's about showing up every day and doing the work. It's about waking up early when you rather sleep in. It's about pushing through when you're tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. Consistency isn't flashy, but it's what separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. If you commit to consistent action, the results will come and they will speak for themselves. Your actions also have the power to shift the perceptions of those around you. When people see you showing up differently, working harder, taking responsibility, staying focused, they'll begin to treat you differently. Some may doubt you at first. Others may criticize or question your motives. That's fine. Let them talk while you keep working. Over time, your actions will silence the critics, turn doubters into believers, and inspire those who didn't think change was possible. Being unrecognizable by your actions isn't just about proving others wrong, it's about proving yourself right. It's about aligning your behavior with the vision you have for your life. Your actions should reflect the person you want to become, not the person you used to be. Each decision you make, no matter how small, is a step toward that transformation. It's in the way you handle challenges, the way you treat others, and the way you hold yourself accountable. Words may inspire people in the moment, but actions inspire lasting change. When people see what's possible through your efforts, you become an example they can look to. You don't just talk about breaking free from limitations, you live it. You don't just encourage others to chase their goals, you show them what it looks like to chase yours. This isn't about seeking validation, it's about leading by example and creating a legacy of action over talk. When your actions speak louder than your words, you become a force to be reckoned with. People won't just see you differently, they'll feel the difference. They'll recognize the discipline, the focus, and the unrelenting drive that sets you apart. But more importantly, you'll see yourself differently. You'll look back and realize that the person you used to be wouldn't recognize the person you become. That's the power of action. That's the power of transformation. Failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. It's not something to be feared or avoided, it's something to be embraced. The truth is, you can't succeed without failing. Every failure is a lesson, a stepping stone, and an opportunity to grow. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay stuck is simple. The great ones fail forward. They don't let failure stop them, they let it propel them. They understand that each failure brings them closer to success as long as they keep moving. Failing forward starts with a mindset shift. Too many people see failure as a personal reflection of their worth. They let it define them, paralyze them, and make them afraid to try again. But failure isn't who you are, it's something that happens to everyone who's aiming higher than the status quo. When you fail, it doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you had the courage to try, to step out of your comfort zone, and to take a risk. That alone sets you apart from most. The key to failing forward is extracting the lesson. Every failure holds a piece of wisdom, but it's up to you to find it. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? What did this teach me about myself, about the process, or about the path I'm on? Failure only becomes a setback when you refuse to learn from it. When you embrace it as a teacher, it becomes a powerful tool for growth. Failing forward means using every stumble as a chance to refine your approach and get better. Failing forward also requires resilience. It's not enough to learn from failure, you have to keep moving in spite of it. Failure can be painful, frustrating, and even embarrassing, but it's temporary. The only way it becomes permanent is if you stop trying. Resilience means getting back up no matter how many times you've been knocked down. It means staying focused on your vision even when the road gets rough. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build through practice, one failure at a time. Too many people see failure as a sign to quit, but the reality is that failure is often a sign you're on the right track. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not trying new things, taking risks, or stepping into the unknown. Success and failure are two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. Failing forward means understanding that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a crucial part of it. When you fail forward, you stop being afraid of making mistakes. Fear of failure is one of the biggest barriers to growth because it keeps you playing small, staying safe, and avoiding risks. But when you accept that failure is inevitable and even necessary, you free yourself from that fear. You start taking bolder actions, pursuing bigger goals, and stepping into opportunities that scare you. This is where real growth happens, not in the absence of failure, but because of it. Failing forward also builds confidence. It might sound counterintuitive, but every time you fail and keep going, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. You develop a mindset that says, I can handle this no matter what life throws at you. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from facing it head on, surviving it, and coming out on the other side. With every failure you overcome, you become more resilient, more capable, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Failing forward is about momentum. It's about refusing to stay stuck no matter how many times you fall. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds on the last. Progress isn't always linear, and setbacks are part of the journey, but what matters most is that you keep moving. When you fail forward, you're not just surviving failure, you're using it as fuel. You're turning every misstep into a step closer to your goal, proving that failure is never final unless you let it be. Transformation isn't easy, it's a battle against everything you've known, everything you've been, and everything you've settled for. The person you are today is comfortable, familiar, and predictable, but if you want to grow, you can't stay the same. The old you has habits, mindsets, and patterns that won't serve the future you're trying to build. The goal is to work so hard, grow so much, and evolve so completely that the person you used to be feels like a stranger. Changing who you are means challenging everything about how you've been living. It means looking at your choices, your routines, and your behaviors and asking, is this who I want to be? If the answer is no, then it's time to make a change, and change isn't comfortable. You have to break the cycles that have been holding you back and replace them with new ones. Every decision you make should be rooted in the question, will this move me closer to the person I want to become? The old you will resist the change. It will try to pull you back into old habits, whispering that it's easier to stay the same, to avoid the struggle, to stick to what you know. But growth doesn't come from doing what's easy, it comes from doing what's necessary. You can't let the old you win. You have to fight through the resistance, the doubt, and the discomfort. Reminding yourself forward takes you further away from the person you don't want to be. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. The old you didn't develop overnight, and the new you won't either. Transformation takes time. It takes showing up every single day, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when you feel like giving up. You have to be relentless in your pursuit of growth, refusing to settle for anything less than the vision you have for yourself. Don't stop because it's hard. Don't stop because it's slow. Don't stop until the old you is unrecognizable. The beauty of transformation is that it's not just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become in the process. The old you might have been afraid, insecure, or full of excuses. The new you is bold, disciplined, and focused. The old you might have looked for shortcuts or blamed circumstances. The new you takes responsibility and does the work. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're rewriting your story and building a version of yourself that the old you could only dream of becoming. One of the greatest rewards of transformation is looking back and realizing how far you've come. The things that used to scare you don't faze you anymore. The habits that used to hold you back are no longer part of your life. The limits you used to believe in have been shattered. When you compare the person you are now to the person you used to be, you see the proof of your progress. You see the strength, resilience, and the determination that got you here, and it fuels you to keep going. The old you isn't someone to hate or resent, it's someone to outgrow. That version of you was doing the best they could with what they had, but now you have more. More knowledge, more experience, and more clarity about what you want and what you're capable of. The goal isn't to erase the old you, it's to evolve so much that they no longer feel like a part of you. The old you becomes a reminder of where you started, not where you belong. Don't stop until the old you is a stranger. Until the people who knew you before don't recognize you now, not because you've changed superficially, but because your mindset, your habits, and your actions are on a whole new level. This isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving to yourself that you can become the person you've always known you could be.